really great things happening with the Muskoka Summit for the Environment. Before we get into what's happening this time around, talk about, for those that are watching right now that don't know, what is the Muskoka Summit for the Environment?
Muskoka Summit on the Environment is an event we hold every 2 years. Our first one was in 2010 we looked at fresh water. We had one in 2012. We looked at biodiversity. In 2014, we looked at the dichotomy between the environment and the economy. And this year, in 2016, we're looking at solutions for a warming world.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. So what can we expect in this theme of Summit for this year?
Well, solutions for a warming world. Everybody's heard about climate change, and it's getting boring, to tell you the truth. And it seems like such a large issue that what can individuals do about it? So we have some really great speakers that are going to come and talk about what individuals and small communities can do to reduce our carbon footprint and to mitigate climate change within Muskoka.
So much like this community here in Muskoka, a perfect candidate for
Absolutely.
For something like that. Okay.
Muskoka Watershed Council has actually just put together a report on climate change that's taken the global models and looked at exactly what that may mean for Muskoka as far as what is our temperature going to be in 50 years, what's our precipitation going to be like in 50 years. So how's that going to impact our water levels, our algae, our birds, our plants, our animals? And if we start to know what might happen if we don't do anything, then it starts to become important as to what can we do in order to protect the environment that is so important to Muskoka.
So let's talk about some of the things that we will be talking about this year, some of the guest speakers that you have talking about this.
Well, we're really excited to have Elizabeth May this year.
Oh, wow.
I mean, she's internationally important with she was at the Paris Summit. She's a real energetic speaker and advocate for the environment. We're also really happy to have David Miller, who of course was the mayor of Toronto, but he's now the CEO and president of the World Wildlife Fund Canada, and really interested in how that translates into why natural areas are important. We have Andy Heinzman, who is the CEO of a venture capital group that looks specifically at raising money and providing money to industries, small industries, that can make technology part of the solution when it comes to climate change. We have Stuart Elgee, who's looking at how climate change impacts the economy. I mean, I think just last weekend we saw 141 fall into the side of the road, that we know things are happening. We know we've had flooding. So how does that impact the economy, and what do we need to do that? So we have some really exciting speakers. But what's really energetic about this summit is that we have about 300 local people in one room all weekend with access to these experts. They can see them at coffee breaks, they can see them at lunches and at dinners. And because everybody's in one room, there's an excitement that ideas bounce off each other, and there's an energy that just develops over the 2 days that we're there. And by the end of the summit, the plan is to have a document that we can then send out to people, to organizations, with, say, 10 things that you as an individual, you as a small community, can do to help climate change.
Well, that's perfect. So let's talk about when that is. How can people sign up or take part of this two-day event?
So the summit is on May 27th and 28th, which is a Friday and Saturday, the last weekend in May. They can register by going to www.muskokasummit.org and register online.
So, and I guess just maybe my last question, for those that are watching, I mean, you talk about the excitement and what we're going to see. Why is it important for Muskoka, Parry Sound, just in our area in general, to have summits like this in our community?
Well, summits like this do two things. One, they bring research and education into Muskoka. The summit raises money for a research award, and that'll be handed out this year. It provides a forum for high school students who will be joining us at the summit. We've raised money, so we'll have high school students there. We have university students come in, so that it provides economic development by bringing people in. It provides that knowledge economy that's so important to understanding what's happening in Muskoka so that we can look after our lakes and our rivers and our wildlands. And I mean, why do people come to Muskoka if it's not for the wonderful environment we have here?